We get lots of questions on retirement, trying to figure out, what people need to be asking to retire, what needs to be done to get you ready for retirement, all of these things. So let's go through them. I just want to give you some ideas. You're probably going to have some other ideas as well. So if you do, be sure to leave those down in the comments. I love it when people are thinking outside the box and helping other people. So if we haven't met, I'm Eric with Jazz Wealth Managers, where we don't just invest dough. We like to educate on dough as well. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to share these slides and knock them out really quick. There's 5 different things. Now, I kind of combine them a little bit to talk through this. The first one, though, if you're getting ready for retirement, you need to think through where is your money coming from and how is it allocated. The reason you've got to figure out where it's coming from is if you are retiring early, well, that's a really big one because you possibly are able to do the rule of 55 with your 401k plan. We have seen that is not always the case. There's the 72T rule with the IRS. If you're retiring before 59 and a half, that's another option for you. Or if you're over 59 and a half, you want to start really thinking through what's the best tax strategy for withdrawal. You don't want to just go and grab everything out of the Roth IRA because the Roth IRA is going to be able to grow tax-free long term. That's one you oftentimes want to leave till later on in retirement. Now, when it comes to the allocation part of this, what we want to think through is how's your money invested? If you're retired and everything is 100% in stocks and you need a lot of money in the early years, well, we might want to talk through that a bit. Maybe we start to develop some buckets for you. Bucket 1, that's short-term money. Bucket 2, that's a little ways out, 2 to 5 years. Then bucket 3, that's that growth bucket. So think through this a bit. Think through those and really where your money is coming from, what you're doing there, and how you're allocating it. The second one, this is a pet peeve of Dustin specifically, but I think that I could agree with this one, knowing your expenses. Now, it's easy to budget and build out a budget, but is that really your expenses? And I say that as kind as possible, but I do a lot of retirement planning, and I see people that make $150,000 to $200,000 a year, and they save a little bit of their money, and it shows that their expenses are, let's say, $5,000 a month. But if I go to the cash flow that actually shows how much is going where, they have this spend unsaved cash flows of like $40,000 or $50,000. What that means is there's $40,000 to $50,000 that is completely unaccounted for it's going somewhere. You're not saving it. So figure that out. Really make sure that you know where your money is going before retirement so that when you step into the retirement years, you're not going to say, oh my goodness, we were overspending this whole time. Now we're trying to make this massive adjustment in life because retirement in itself is a big adjustment. So just think through that and make sure that you have a good idea of your true expenses and what your goals are as well. Number 3, are there any benefits you are leaving on the table? Stock options, restricted stock, vacation, sellback, healthcare. Talk with your employer. Figure out what you're doing. I saw somebody, and I actually knew the person directly one time that retired from the fire department when I was there working as well in my previous career, and they left 1 year before they could collect their pension. And by doing that, they basically were stuck. And if they would have tried to take their pension early, then they would have taken this massive penalty. And so if the right advisor would have helped them, or if they would have called the Florida State retirement system that we worked through then and got the right information, they could have just worked 1 more year and everything had been good. So make sure you're not leaving anything on the table. Know if you have a pension, what the payouts are. Make sure that you're maximizing that for whatever is needed for your retirement. Stock options, restricted stocks, vacation sellback, sick leave sellback, and then healthcare. I've seen a lot of employers that offer health care and through retirement, but only if you're there for a certain period of time will they offer these benefits to you. So just make sure you're looking at those. Talking about health care, that's another one that you do really want to think through. You want to figure out a bit. Health insurance, COBRA, ACA, or Medicare. If you're 65, obviously, you're jumping into Medicare. But if you are not 65, where is your health care coming from? A lot of people really get concerned with this one, though with the Affordable Care Act, as long as you keep your income lower, it's not outrageous. Now, if your income's way up, that's different. Now, they're looking at it, though, on an annual basis. Medicare has a couple-year look back. The Affordable Care Act is actually just based on what that year is. So it's a A little bit different on how everything looks. You also have COBRA. If you leave your employer, oftentimes you can keep your insurance for 18 months or so. Check with your employer on something like that if that's the case. Just know that with that one, oftentimes it's pretty expensive. So get a couple quotes out there, really try to figure out what's going to be the best for you. And then finally, Social Security options and IRMAA. Now, when it comes to Social Security options, yeah, you want to know what your Social Security options are. But what if you had a pension that had the windfall provision in there? So basically, if you have a pension that you weren't paying into Social Security while you were saving for retirement, something like that comes into play, your Social Security might not be what you think it is. Be careful, know these numbers, and make sure that you have everything in line there. Then when it comes to IRMAA, that's if you're in the Medicare years, if your income is too high, even the 2-year look back, and you get into age 65 and you have to file for Medicare, you could pay an additional tax on your Medicare insurance. So make sure you know these types of numbers. These are just a few things. Like I say, you probably have something else. So if you do, let me know. If you're looking for an advisor to help you with your dough, reach out to us. You can check us out, jazzwealth.com. We'd be happy to help you.